Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of Poppy Up, and I'm so thrilled to have Ivy James with me. Hello, welcome. How's your day
Hi!
been?
My day has been well. How about you?
It's been great, and it's even more great that we can chat about your music and everything. And I'm so excited because I listened to the EP and it's absolutely amazing, and I
Oh,
need more people to listen to it.
I'm so glad.
So, at the beginning, can you tell us a little about your journey into music? When did you first start writing songs?
Oof. Um, Writing songs, this is just a guess. I'd say maybe 10 years ago, something like that.
Okay, so very soon. And was this like just very random, or was it something that you always wanted to do?
I think it was kind of a combination of both, where I started writing just because I thought it was fun. I started writing like poetry and stories for school, and I had always loved to sing, but I don't think I like truly was like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life until I was probably like 11 or 12.
And do you remember the first thing you ever wrote, or maybe not the first thing, but maybe a thing that was finished and you were like, wow, maybe this can turn into something more?
Yeah, actually, the first song that I ever really wrote and recorded, like just on my computer at home, was a song called 1973 Slasher Movie, which is on the EP. And I wrote that song when I was 14. And I think that was like the first song I ever like really wrote.
You wrote that at 14. That's absolutely insane because the song is just so good. Oh my god, I don't think uh, a, a, an adult could write that. Someone, you are a Shakespeare, literally. I cannot get over this. I cannot get over the fact that you said this. What the hell? And you're also like so young, but your music has such a mature and emotional depth. Where do you draw your inspiration from?
I always say this whenever somebody asks me that question, and it's still like, it's the best answer I can give is just people being stupid and making bad choices that, you know, affect me in a negative way. And I always write songs about my experiences with other people and, you know, how I interacted with the people around me and the world as I've grown up. And yeah.
I completely understand. As someone who loves to write a lot, I'm not writing songs, I'm writing like poems and essays and stuff. People are really the biggest inspiration when they hurt you. So I'm with you
Yeah.
on that. Um, who are your biggest musical influences and how have they shaped your music?
It kind of, I think I consume music in a very irregular way. Like, constantly listening to music. It's all I do all the time is just consume. And I kind of go through phases like everyone does. I think when I was writing my first EP, sonically, it was very inspired by Mazzy Star and Phoebe Bridgers and all of the like sad girl indie that I was really into at the time, and trying to like combine that with my vocal and lyrical style, I think created something very me and unique to me at that point in my life. But I think my most like major influences, I would say, have to be on my um, vocals and writing, which are Stevie Nicks and Kate Bush, Tori Amos, definitely all of like the spooky female powerhouses.
Yeah, when I first listened to your songs, I definitely heard like blend of folk and classic rock and indie elements. It was more from like a genre kind of thing. I definitely hear all of the artists there, but there's something nobody ever did. Like it's just so original. Um, how do you approach blending genres in your songwriting?
I think my approach to everything is kind of with the mentality of like whatever is going to aid the lyrics and the song the best. What is going to contribute to the message rather than, oh, I want a song that sounds like this, or oh, I want a song that sounds like this. Like taking the song and letting it become its own world, like where these lyrics can live in a space where everything is made to make the vocals and lyrics as powerful as they can possibly be. So,
Well, yeah, I definitely feel like they're powerful. So
yeah, and with blending genres, I think that's the biggest part is not to think about it that way. I'm thinking more just how can I incorporate elements, all of the things that I love while making it, sonically make sense.
I love this answer. I've nobody ever said this here. They mostly like describe the genre they're going for, but this is actually very beautiful. Thank you for saying this. I love it so much.
Yeah. I think that it's just because I'm so petrified of getting myself stuck into a genre that I don't even think that I will say what my genre is. Because I don't want there to be one. As I move through my career, things are going to change, and my inspiration is going to be drawn from different things. And how I choose to express that, I don't want it to be held down by a little 2 word um, explanation.
Yeah, it's just Ivy James genre. I
Yeah,
think we could say
yes,
that.
it's just me.
What's your songwriting process like? Do you start with lyrics, melody, or something else?
It kind of depends on how I'm, going about what I'm writing. Sometimes I'm writing from a place where I'm just so overwhelmed with emotion and feeling that I literally can't do anything with myself besides like sit down at my guitar and just sing. And a lot of the times that's how I get some of my best songs is just I have recordings on my phone that are no joke like hours long of me just playing 4 chords and singing. Like just writing as I sing. And then I kind of listen back to these recordings, pick out the things that I like the most, what I came up with just on the spot, put them on a piece of paper, and then fill in the gaps with whatever that inspires me to do. That's typically how I'm writing most of my songs, but sometimes I will get inspired when I'm just like out to dinner, or the other day when I was in the studio, I was walking down the hallway and like inspiration struck and I had to like run back and be like, I need to write this down right now. So it kind
I love this.
of yeah, it kind of varies depending on my mood, I guess.
Yeah, I get that totally. And you know, it's with like listening to music as well. You're not gonna listen to a sad song when you're feeling happy. I mean, sometimes I do. That's a lie. Um, but you know, when what you should listen to when you're feeling something, it just sometimes pops in your head. So,
Yeah,
yeah. But I always ask this question. I just everyone kind of approaches it differently. So I love hearing what the artists say about this.
yeah. I definitely think a big part of my writing too is not forcing it. I write every single day, but I'm not writing songs every single day. I try to just like keep the wheels turning constantly of just writing down ideas, random things I think about, or a lyric that I like, or something just to exercise the muscle. And but I do, it's pretty rare that I will write a full song. Like it's, every once in a while I just like am just so inspired that it all just happens. But typically it's going to take me a while to like finish a whole song because I never want to force emotion cuz it feels like inauthentic in a way.
And how do you know when a song is finished and ready to release?
Um Typically it's I go through there's like a couple different stages in from writing to putting it out. For me, usually I'm writing a song and then I create just a demo on my computer. It's just like drums, guitar, the vocals, laying out the basic pieces. And then I'm going to take that to whatever producer I'm working with and my team. And then we're going to work on it together. And eventually we kind of were just like, it's done. We've put all the things and there it is. And then it goes to get mixed and there's more changes that happen there. And then I get the song back and we send it to the DSPs and then it's out of my hands.
I love this, and I'm so glad that you decided to release the EP. It's called Ghosts of You. Amazing EP. I love what it's one of those EPs when you listen to it and you hear themes like heartbreak and love and anger and sadness. Um, and you know that music is such a gift. Um, could you maybe share what was the emotional journey like for you while creating this EP?
Yeah. So that EP was written over a span of 3 years from Slasher. It goes in chronological order of when I wrote the songs, the EP. That I was really like adamant that that was how I wanted it to be displayed because it told a story. And I'm a big, firm believer that an album or an EP or any body of work should have some sort of underlying story. Because all of the albums I love, when you listen to them top to bottom, not only are you getting a story within every song, you're getting a story with all of the songs put together. So with the EP, I started writing it when I was 14, in love with my best friend who wanted nothing to do with me. And, you know, I started kind of dating. And, when you're dating and you're like 14, 15, it's so complicated because nobody knows what they're doing. They don't even know who they are yet. And you know, I struggled a lot because I'm so like self-assured and I know who I am and I've always been that way. So dating just was so annoying for me. And so a lot of those songs are about like guys that I was infatuated with or was was with. Bathroom Sink was about a guy that I was with who had the was a little bit older than me. I think he was like 16, maybe 17, and was in like the era of high school where like you start going to parties and like experimenting and it just like was this whole messy thing. And that was kind of me going through a very similar thing with one of my best friends at the time as well, who was also in that phase of her life where she was partying a lot and experimenting. And I was really struggling as being, younger, not understanding like why they were what, from my perspective, it felt like they were just like throwing their lives away for this thing that didn't care about them. And so I wrote that song about, honestly a lot of people, but the inspiration struck from the guy that I was with at the time. And then we broke up, and I found out that best friend that I had written Slasher about had told one of my friends that he like had a crush on me, and then we started dating, and then I wrote Unravel Myself for him as a Valentine's Day present, like a month or two into us being together. And that was just like, the first time I'd ever really tried to write a love song, and I was so turned off by the idea of writing something cheesy, or, I love to use the word trite, just something that is, you know, not serious. And I wanted to write a song where I didn't use the word love. I didn't use any of those cliches about, about love that you would find in a typical love song. I wanted to be whatever, I wanted to be different.
I love this lore. I love this lore so much.
I wanted to be special and different. So I wrote that song, and then we were dating, and then I was I'm trying to think of what. Oh yeah, Ivory is the next song that's on there. I wrote that about one of my best friends, and this is like a common misconception about the lyrics of that song. I am Ivory, like it's supposed to be my name, but I didn't want to make it my own name because it was like weird. But it changes perspectives. So basically, like all the verses are from my perspective, and the choruses are from this other girl singing to me. Basically, just like what I wish she would have just said to me rather than this whole messy like, friendship breakup. Yeah, a lot of people think that it's like a love song. It is, or it's like a breakup song. It is, but not about a guy. It was about my best friend. And then I had another song called Ghost of You that was supposed to be on the EP. That was another love song about the same guy, the best friend. And, and right towards the end of the EP's production, we broke up because I found out he had cheated on me with one of my friends. And so I scrapped that song. I was like, I'm not giving him another love song. And I wrote Exorcist. That's the night that I found out. Yeah. So that was kind of the whole story of the EP. And we threw Exorcist on there a couple weeks before it was supposed to come out. I was like, this song needs to be on there. I can't put this out without getting the last word in.
Thank you. I honestly had like a question prepared for every song, but you basically spilled it all out, and I'm so happy. Thank you. Um, and oh my god, yes, it's literally like a story. Obviously, didn't know the lore before. Now I'm happy I know it. And
Yeah.
I don't want to be mean, but like I hate all of these people who are involved and who hurt you. Um, Nothing personal though. Sorry, but yeah. And but if I have to choose, like obviously the whole EP, I cannot believe it's real, and that you were 14 when you wrote some of those, and you finished it
Yeah.
at 17, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's absolutely insane. I cannot believe that me a year ago I would write something like that. That's impossible. But one, obviously, every song I love. But there was one song that stuck out for me, and I'm gonna be a little selfish, so we can talk about it. But bathroom sink
Ah!
this feels personal, and even for me, it was more from like. So I when I listen to the song, I think about my father, and especially like the lines like the walls are spinning and I don't want to be alone. Had too much to drink, didn't used to be these things. Said I would never turn out like you, but I finally know why you do what you do. I broke down crying when I first like heard that. It's such a beautiful song, and I I guess all I want to say is just thank you for releasing it, and I hope people will listen to it because I just love it so much. And yeah,
Oh, that makes me that's like one of my favorite songs that I've ever written because while it is such a sad song, it's still full of so much love, you know? And I think that's what makes it so special is it comes from an angry place, but is still just bursting at the seams with love and care. I wouldn't write about it about this person if I didn't really care about him. And we're still really good friends. Like, so he knows that if he's listening, hello. um, yeah, that was a special song for me. It's definitely a heavy one. It's definitely a heavy one because it's just dealing with super heavy topics of substance abuse, and it's very common, especially in American culture, teen partying, and you get really wrapped up into it, and it's really easy. And that song was kind of about me realizing how easy it is and being like, oh my God, I get it. Like, it's scary how quickly you can lose yourself and things like that. And I was kind of just like, I get it, and I'm sorry I was so hard on you. Like, I understand why you do what you do, because it's easier to be a teenager when you can just ice everything out and be numb rather than experience how much everything sucks.
yeah, definitely. Well, here, so I'm from Middle Europe in Slovakia, and I mean, we do parties. It's not like a cool party like I imagine in America, I guess. But especially like older men that become dads, they start to drink a lot. I don't know. It's like a trend here. I don't really understand it. And that's what's happening, unfortunately. And that's what a lot of kids go through, where they have to experience abuse and, you know, alcohol all around you, and you don't understand why it's happening. It's kind of like people are drinking their problems here, and it's so normalized that it's crazy. And when I listen to the song, and as I turned like 18 and I'm an adult, the drinking legal age is 18 here, and you start to kind of experiment, I guess. Then you go through the problems, and you kind of go to that track a little, and you understand a little why they did it, but you don't want to become them.
Yeah,
But then you never know what can happen. That's why the song is so special. And maybe someone who experienced that kind of thing, either from your perspective as like romantic love, or parents, or friendships, or whatever, you can choose what the song is going to be about, and it will hit you like home.
yeah,
I felt like I was hit by a train, honestly, but in a good way. In a good way. So
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
that's all a musician wants is for people to find their own meaning in music. I mean, I constantly find new meanings in my own songs depending on the things that I'm going through. I will just be like, this concept is, you know, you want them to be universally relatable in a sense of anyone can listen to it and be like, wow, I get this, or like, this feels like it was written about me. you know? And, when people tell me about their own experiences, listening to my music and how it made them feel, it's kind of the dream, it's why I do what I do, is to help others, in the ways that I can, with the gift that I was given to bring others a sense of comfort and peace that like I find in music. It's just a really cool feeling and very rewarding.
Yeah, and thank you for doing that. It definitely means a lot to a lot of people. And I hope even more people will listen to this because it's absolutely amazing. So, someone out there is listening to this, you should get your ass to your streaming service and go listen to it and then come back.
Yes, please,
Mm,
please give me more streams. Yeah.
which song changed the most from its original version to the final recording?
Ooh, that's a great question. Hmm. I'm gonna have to go with. Are we talking like EP or just any of my music?
You can choose. You can choose one from EP and maybe one from your music in general.
So the EP, definitely Bathroom Sink. It was written as a more acoustic song, but I really felt like what would aid the music better was to have a more, you know, indie pop rock kind of thing to balance out the heaviness of the lyricism. Because sometimes the juxtaposition of a bouncy and, you know, I don't want to say dancey, but more danceable arrangement with very, dense lyrics can create something that is both, introspective and well written while also being a little bit easier to listen to.
I I am grateful that it's very beautiful. Lyrics are very beautiful, but also the production. I love it so much. But maybe I would love to hear the acoustic version of it as well because the lyrics are very strong. But I love the production very, very much. So
Thank you. Yeah, that's yeah, working with when I did that EP, I was working with a producer named Mr. Hudson, who before my project had done some pop, but he had done stuff, with Jay Z and um, Kanye and JP Cooper and a few other artists that weren't exactly in my wheelhouse. So we made something that I felt was really cool, blending his, more pop and contemporary style with my abstract and, roots style of writing and just made something that was really, really cool.
yeah, I actually have a question here that I wrote it because I was going through like your whole like discography, and then I was like searching for some information as well, and I saw that you were working with producer Mr. Hudson and engineer Paul Hicks. And I have a question: how did they help shape the final sound?
A lot. I mean, when I was writing these, it was literally just me and a guitar. So they took me and my acoustic guitar and made the songs that you're hearing. So they shaped it a lot. And, with Mr. H, he produced everything and created all of the, soundscapes and structure and the way that the album ebbs and flow, or the EP ebbs and flows, you know, that's all him. And then Paul takes everything and just makes it that much better by balancing everything, making, you know, because he had the order of the song. So the reason the EP plays so well from start to finish was him taking it and making sure all the EQ, like the end of the song, is the same level as the beginning of next song. And they're both awesome.
Yeah, I love the production so much, as I said, and it makes so much sense now that it's in the order as it is. And it made sense even before I was listening to it, because you go from emotion to emotion. Do you have a favorite lyric from the EP? If so, why does it stand out for you?
Ooh, I have a lyric in Exorcist that I just love. I mean, that song I wrote in one sitting, just crying my eyes out in my bedroom. Um, and I wrote a lyric, Lord on the cross, it's divine intervention because I couldn't rid myself of this holy affliction. That is one of my favorite lyrics I've ever written, still is. And it's just because I don't know, there's something about it that perfectly encapsulates everything in the song. All of the lyrical content could be summed up in that single phrase.
If I were you, I would just say, the whole EP. Like, it's a lyrical masterpiece, literally. But I feel like whatever you would say, I would be like, hell yeah. Because I honestly love all of them.
Thank you so much.
Um, was there a song that was particularly hard to write or record, emotionally or technically?
I don't technically, not on the EP. Emotionally, I think I had a kind of a hard time with recording Exorcist, but recently I've been working on something that I'm not going to say too much about, but I was recording a song the other day and I was having such a hard time getting through this song because I kept just breaking down crying. And that has never happened to me before. And that's like a testament to like how cool what we're working on right now is. Like I just was overwhelmed by emotion. I just could not get through it. And we had to like pause and do it the next day. But on the EP, definitely Exorcist. It's rare that I will perform that song live for that same reason because I just had a really hard time getting through that song.
Well, I'm excited for whatever's to come. And if this happened to you, and I know what happened to me when I listened to the EP, I was like crying so much. You have no idea. I wish I could. I wish I recorded myself. Um, and then, and actually, whenever I like record a podcast or like an episode with an artist, I take my time, like hour or two, whatever the last project length is, and I listen to it one more time. Took a lot in me to not break down again, but I did it. But I just love it so much. Um, are there any hidden details or Easter eggs in the lyrics or production that fans should listen for?
Oh, I feel like I exposed the big one about Ivory. Um, but if you listen to the end of Exorcist, as the music is fading out, you can hear me talking because we just like decided to leave it in. And I think I say something along the lines of either that was it, like about the votes. Like, I think I just like stopped singing. I was like, that was it. That was the one. And yeah, so if you listen to Exorcist and turn up the volume all the way, then you'll hear me talking.
Okay, but listen from start to finish. So listen to the whole EP. Don't just go to the one song, okay?
Yeah.
We have a deal. We have a deal. You need to listen to the whole EP because you won't regret it. Best 20 minutes of my life. Also worst,
Oh,
but best.
oh, no, that's so real. Like I do, like I strive for my music to be like literally the worst and best 20 minutes of your life.
Well, it was for me. I mean, in the best way possible, but also there are hidden cameras somewhere around here. I'm saying it all the time. Like, you guys have the special ability to just write about my life, or I don't know, but I love it. I love it. I'm not complaining. How have fans reacted to Ghost of You so far? Have any responses surprised you?
The fan response has just been amazing. I mean, I love all my fans. I talk to them all the time. And when I first started releasing music, I mean, it was just the outpour of love and admiration for the music was just so special. And I think what surprised me the most was I put Exorcist on the EP just because I needed to like feed my soul. And I was like, I don't care if people don't like this song. I don't care if they don't listen to it. Like I need it on there so that I could sleep at night. And it actually ended up being higher performing than Ivory, which was always going to be on the EP. And that really surprised me. And that's a lot of people's favorite song of mine is Exorcist, which was really, really, really surprising.
How is your relationship with social media in general? How do you approach it? When do you know that, okay, I can post this? Or sometimes you feel like maybe it's too much and I'm too personal out there.
I think I just I don't like social media. I'm not a fan, but it is really like it's a must have if you want to be an artist in the modern world because everybody's on it. And I think for me, I never post my friends, I never post boyfriends or people I'm dating. I very much keep it about the music and the music only. And my public account is just all I think about before I post is like, would Ivy James think that this was cool? Is this her or is this me? Because I do like to keep a separation between myself and Ivy James. It's just a way where I can feel a ton of freedom in my expression because I'm putting all of my like dark and sad and scary and angry feelings into this character in a sense. That's kind of the embodiment of all of the uncomfortable and scary things about being a teenage girl is Ivy James. That's all she is, you know? Is everything that I don't want to carry in my day-to-day life I put on her. And I definitely reflect that in my social media, I think.
I'm so glad you mentioned that you kind of separate the music persona and you as a human, as a real person. Because sometimes I feel like people forget that behind the artist, what or musician or influencer, whatever you want to call it, whoever is like present on social media, they think they know a lot about them, but they don't actually. And it comes to parasocial relationships and stuff. And it's been a topic that's going on around a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for sharing that because that's so important.
Yeah, I think that it is. You know, when I interact with fans, I am myself, you know, like I'm being Ivy, like but I because I never want to be playing a character. I don't want to feel like I'm being not true to myself. But I think when I am on stage and in the studio and writing and producing, I really do take on a character because it's easier for me to bare my soul to people and show the dark underbelly of my life when it's not truly me. So, when you're talking to me and I'm on my day to day, like, you're not talking to me being a character. Like, this is just how I am. But when I'm performing, I definitely like take on a role.
Yeah, I also liked what you said about like with Ivy James thing that this was cool to post. I really like that you kind of approach this thing. Uh, I feel like all of us have that kind of other person that is cooler than our true self, and we're always like debating. Like sometimes I do something very embarrassing. Yesterday, something very embarrassing happened, and I was like, "Oh my god! If my like second self would be here, she would probably slap me." So I very much like feel you. How
Yeah.
sometimes I just tell to myself like "ew" or "yikes," like no.
Yeah, I definitely think that, except, with, Ivy James, she's kind of this very creepy, this creepy and scary, just kind of unhinged character, which I think is just so teen girl. Like, she's just forever 17 years old. And I think it's the beauty of her character is just she gets to be as unhinged and kooky as she wants to be. And then I get to be, you know, quote unquote, kind of normal in my day to day. But when I post things or do stupid stuff, or, I'm performing and I say something kind of dumb, I'm always like, Ivy James would think that was so lame.
Yeah,
You
I'm
think
gonna
that
make a
was so lame.
confession. I'm gonna make a confession. I was talking with my friend before we started this. Esme, if you're listening to this, hello. And I sent her your EP and I was like, you need to listen to this dude. It's so good. And she was like, okay, I'm going to listen to it. And then I was like overthinking. I learned how to not be embarrassed by, talking with artists because I've done a bunch and I've learned to kind of communicate. At least I think, I believe myself that I can, at least. I hope I can.
No, you're doing
And
great.
thank you. And I was just like looking at your Instagram because I was looking for this one information I needed for my questions. And I was like, dude, if she's gonna think that I am absolutely lame, I'm gonna like die because you seem like the coolest person ever. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna hate me. And also, I really hate like postponing stuff when something happens. And and when I was about to like text you, I was like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing. She will never reply again. I'm gonna honestly jump
No.
off this window. So I needed to tell you this
Oh my
that
god.
yes, your Ivy James persona is cool, and I'm sure your real persona is even more cool. Um,
Yeah, I definitely have heard that. This is not the first time I've gotten something like that about Ivy James, because, like, typically when I'm out, I'm like working. I'm a homebody at heart. But when like I'm at shows or at events or concerts, like am adorning that Ivy James armor and going out. And I have had people, like people who are now my very close friends, be like, I met you when you were Ivy James, and I thought you were so scary and intimidating. And I'm like, what? Because me as a person, I'm very like happy go lucky and like smiley. But I really do, I feel like, transform when I, leave the house and become her. So it's not the first time I've heard that, but I totally am like, I think that that's so funny.
No, but you're so fine, and you're such a kind person. And I didn't think that you're not kind. I was just like scared that you're gonna absolutely despise me, So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what happens.
Well, don't worry, because I think that you're lovely. So,
Thank you. That makes me. I'm gonna sleep tonight. I'm gonna be super happy that this was solved because I was overthinking since Valentine's Day when this happened. So. Mhm.
oh yeah, I was actually doing a protest of Valentine's Day. Just I was in my bed the whole day. Like I'm not getting out. I'm John Lennon protesting a war, and it is a war on Valentine's Day. So
Well, I was in bed as well, just like drinking my tea, hoping to be better.
oh.
So I'm with this and you with you. So how has putting out this EP changed you as an artist in general?
I think it made me more confident in my abilities and my understanding of myself and my goal and identity as an artist. And I think I've definitely kept a lot of what I learned from that, but also pivoted. So, what you're going to be hearing from me, you know, in the next year, it's different, but it carries the same soul. It is still very much Ivy James, but just the truest form of her.
If you could collaborate with any artist, past or present, who would it be and why?
Ooh, I would love to work with Ethel Kane at some point in my career. It's always been kind of a goal of mine. And also um, to collaborate with Matt Berninger of The National. That's always been a dream of mine too. So yeah, definitely Ethel Kane, Matt Berninger.
It will happen. I'm calling it in the next few years. I will see you somewhere and I'll be like, we talked about this in our podcast. Do you remember? And it's literally happening. I believe in it.
That literally made my day.
What do you hope people take away from Ghost of You when they listen to it?
That having feelings is normal. Being pissed and angry and, you know, sad is all normal. It's good for you. You don't have to, especially as a girl, being angry at somebody's fuck ups is not like it doesn't make you crazy. It doesn't make you, unruly. It makes you human and normal. No matter what people are going to say, especially ex boyfriends who want to be like, she's just a bitter ex girlfriend, or no, you're not. You're a human being who feels things. And some, people fuck up and you're allowed to be mad about it.
I'm so glad you said this, that it's literally so normal to have emotions. And I feel like I'm so glad you said this as well. As girls, as women, we are not allowed to be angry or pissed off because we are overreacting, and it's never that serious as everyone said, but actually it is. And sometimes, and are we are allowed to feel upset about
Yes.
actually many things.
Yes, exactly. Like, and I have a lyric about that in Ivory of like, said I take things way too personal, but it is personal because I would never have done that to you. It's the same concept of like, my least favorite word is when people say to me, it's not that deep. I hate that expression because it minimizes, the emotions and pain and feelings of another person by basically making them feel crazy by being like, it's not that deep. Calm down. I'm like, it is that deep because it's that deep to them, or it's that deep to me. And I feel like the whole EP is just like drowning in emotion and anger and feeling, that it's like if you listen to that and don't feel like it's okay to act a little quote unquote crazy sometimes, that I'm doing something wrong. Because that EP honestly like just kind of screams like this chick is, she's pissed. And I think that that is definitely the goal of that EP. Even just to myself, to prove to myself like all these things that make me a crazy ex-girlfriend or that make me a jealous ex-friend are actually just me being a person with feelings that have been so demonized by society and the male perspective that it does look like I am just being crazy and unhinged, but it's just feelings that I'm expressing in a healthy way. You don't see me like in the tabloids going around and like wreaking havoc on people's lives. Like it's okay to be upset. And I think that that's the message. It's okay to be upset as long as you're dealing with it in a non-detrimental, healthy way.
I could talk about it. I could write an essay about what you just said. That thank you for literally expressing everything what we feel, and I know so many feel this way. People feel this way, but I think many people are also scared to say it out loud and be like, "Yeah, I was pissed," and we just like get into a bubble where we don't want to make anyone upset, so we just eat our emotions alive and consume them until one day they will literally break in us and
Yeah.
explode. And I just don't want that to happen ever. It happened to me once and never again. It's the worst thing you can do, to eat your emotions and not
It
let them go.
yeah, it really is. And I really like, I feel like everybody needs, an Ivy James in a sense of like a person inside of yourself that makes it okay to express those things. And or just a place, because Ivy James is used, it's a project, like somewhere put all of that feeling and all of those emotions where you're dealing with them and processing and understanding. I think that that's something everyone needs, an outlet.
Everyone needs Ivy James inside of them. I'm gonna tattoo this at this point. I love this so much. I'm gonna say this in in like caption or something. I love this so much. And if you are listening to this and if you are not still convinced to listen to this EP, then I don't know what you're doing. Honestly, get your shit together, because this is the best thing I've ever heard, and I just feel so lucky and privileged to, first of all, talk to you about it, but also discover this music and listen to it. So, yeah, thank you so much for this. Honestly, this is a big, big thank you. And I don't want to sound biased or be like up in your ass because you're in my podcast. I genuinely like enjoy this music so much, and I cannot wait for what's next.
Ugh, thank you so much for having me. Like this has been just so fun to just, talk and just chit chat.
Well, I made this podcast in the first place because I love talking and I cannot shut up. And my mom decided that I shouldn't have a sibling. Honestly, bad decision, because I am annoying her and everyone around me, and everyone's tired of me. So at least I can annoy strangers on the internet and be like, here, listen, I'm gonna talk to my phone for an hour and everyone's gonna enjoy that. But then I came up that I don't have to talk to myself, but I can talk with other people about music, and that's genuinely what I enjoy. So I just love this so much. And yeah, thank you so
No,
much.
I totally get it. I'm such a yapper too, if you couldn't tell. Like, I love to talk. So, this has been so fun.
Um, the next question, one of the last, is you don't have to answer if you don't want to. It's more of like whatever you want and feel sharing, you can. But what's next for Ivy James? Any upcoming performances or surprises for fans?
I'm I'm gonna give like a little information, but not too much, just so that my team doesn't like hand my ass to me. Um, I'm working on something big and awesome, and take what you will from that vague sentence, but it's what I can say is it is spooky. It definitely encapsulates all of that, you know, anger and sadness from the first EP. All of those feelings are still there, but in a really cool new way that I think people aren't going to expect, but will like, because it just is so unique and authentic. And I can't wait to start putting all of these things out. Um, I'm so excited, especially for everyone to hear like this new side of my music. It's so exciting.
Okay, okay. I'm seated. I'm ready. Um, I'm excited. It's like it feels like the night before a trip you're so excited for, but the nights will be a little longer. But whatever you come up with, I'm sure it will be amazing. I'm super excited. I will actually come to this podcast after you release the thing, the big thing, and and I will understand more after. I feel like so. I'm super excited.
Yeah, we're definitely creating the world. It's taking what I was trying to do with Ivy James in the first EP and, and committing hard. So that character, we're building her world, her story, and it's something that it's been really really fun to work on, and just so worthwhile and different, and that's what I love so much about it.
I hope she's feeling a little better as she was the last EP. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna cry on my carpet again.
She's feeling more slay, like more cunt. That is what she's feeling. Like
Okay, I love this honestly. If
she's
she's gonna feel
exactly, she's still sad, she's still emo, but she's like working it. You know, she's serving at the same time.
okay, so said can't. I'm getting the vibe. Okay, I'm ready.
Yes. Like songs that make you want to dance but also cry kind of vibe.
Oh, these are my favorites ever. I love them. So I'm ready.
I'm also very ready. So, I don't think anyone is ever as excited about my music than me. Um, I am my number one fan, but I think it's really the way that it should be when you're an artist is you should be making the music you wish other people made. Like you're filling a market and a demographic that feeds your soul in a way that no one else's music does. And that's really what I try to do with my music.
Yeah, like who's gonna be your first fan if not yourself? Like who's gonna support you if not yourself? So I love this approach, and everyone should be this way.
Yeah, I think how you make music truly authentic to you and serves you a purpose. It's making what you wish someone else made. Do it yourself.
Yeah, I also love the authenticity. It's not like I'm gonna make a song because I want it to be viral. It's not, it's more like I want to make a song first for myself and to let the emotions out, and also for other people to feel something. So that's very beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're authentic and real, I think you can't go wrong with other people and fans because I think people recognize authenticity and it feels different than something that is kind of a formula in a sense of writing for it to be a hit or writing for it to be viral. You know, like most listeners will recognize that that's what you did. And so
Yeah.
I really try to just always be true to myself and you know, the people who like it and the people who get it.
And I hope everyone gets it. And if you don't get it, then I'm gonna side eye you really badly.
No, honestly,
But you
if
do.
honestly, if you don't get it, you must be the happiest person on this world, and I wish I was like you. Like,
I mean, yes, but also like what you're doing. But that's just from my point of view, you know. Sometimes I listen to a song and another person is like, well, I don't get it. And I was like, first of all, good for you. And second of all, what are you even saying? Like, are you for real?
yeah, yeah, that's the beauty of music. It starts conversations.
Well, I'm super excited for whatever's to come. Again, listen to Ghost of You. And the last thing I do, it's not like a question, it's more like a space for you to send a message, say a message to other aspiring artists that want to do music or are doing music but don't know how to be authentic, as you said, or maybe don't know how to start. This is your space to say whatever you want to say to them.
I think first and foremost is if you're not doing something that, that is feeding your soul and making you happy, don't do it. It doesn't matter if you're working with management or a label or collaborating with another artist. If it is not making you happy and you're not, you know, taking anything from what you're doing, you need to pivot and get back to what is making you happy because music is a passion, it is a language, it is a form of understanding that is just unique to each person who creates and listens and digests. So, if it's not feeding your soul, then stop feeding it. And also, I say this a lot and I try to say this as much as I can. Being a girl who's young, this is to all of you young female artists um, in the industry, you're going to be working with a lot of, and I mean a lot of male colleagues and, you know, people and people who are older than you, not just male. Even I've experienced it with women too. It's very, very difficult to be taken seriously. And you have to give people a reason to take you seriously. So you need to take yourself more seriously than everyone else does. I am a constant, I come to everything prepared. I am always presenting myself the best that I can be and doing the best at what I do. And just having that mindset of I, I know that I am important that my opinions matter, and then reflecting that into your outward appearance, your behavior in professional settings, it's really going to change a lot of things for you because people recognize that you are professional and that they owe you a certain token of respect. And it definitely opens doors. A lot of it is really about mindset. If you want to make it in the industry and work among people who are, you know, have more advanced careers than you and have been doing it longer, it really just comes down to what you can control, and that is you and your behavior.
That was the best thing I've ever heard here, ever. And again, not saying it because you're the last person I talked to. I actually like remember a lot of stuff, but this was very beautiful. And I hope, and you know, not only artists, but whatever you're doing out there, I think it's whatever all you said was just everything. Like, put your mind to things that are authentic to you, and also working with other people. Everything, everything, everything. I should crop it and post it everywhere for everyone to listen. Um,
Oh,
Thank you for sharing that and saying this. It's very important for all of the
yeah,
people.
yeah. I always just try to. I have a certain amount of knowledge and insider perspective that I think everyone who wants to be musicians and artists and writers should hear what I have to say and take it, you know. Because it is, I mean, for me, it was a game changer. Understanding those things, and it changed everything.
Yeah, well, you're so intelligent and well spoken, and I feel very lucky and privileged to talk to you today. And I wish we could stay here for 10 hours, honestly, and talk. But people would be like, oh, fuck, no,
This is
I'm
so
so done.
long.
But this would be for me only. Honestly, I don't care about like other people not listening. This is just for funsies, you know. So,
Yeah.
but thank you for being here, and I hope we can chat when you release something.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to come back and just like hear, because I'm just really excited to hear people what they think about the new stuff once it comes out because it is different, but I'm really excited about it. Thank you so much for having me. This has been so fun.
I'm so glad, and I as well would love to listen to it very soon and talk about it and let other people, you know, uh, say something about it as well, but nothing negative because I will hunt them down. I will follow them, but home. So, yeah, I'm just super excited and super happy. This has been so amazing. I'm so glad I didn't embarrass myself, and then we are good. Because my self of approximately like hour back, I was shitting my pants. I was like, "You're gonna absolutely hate me," but I'm
No,
so glad
I
we
think
got
that
it
you are
solved.
so sweet, and this has been so fun and great questions. I've got to say, like these were all like some of them I had to take a second to be like, oh my god, how do I even answer this? This is such a like thought provoking question. So yeah, definitely one of the most fun interviews I've done. So
Thank you. I'm always trying to not repeat. Obviously, some things need to be repeated, but I'm just not I'm trying to make it something more and not just the same five questions all over, and also nothing too personal because I feel like if I'm gonna bring an artist here, we should talk about music, not whoever you're dating or whatever you did a month ago or what did you eat during breakfast. Like, these are things that obviously we can talk about, but it's just like there's deeper things
yeah,
to talk about and have connection with than
yeah,
this.
and I totally agree with that. Like I pretty vague about my personal life always. So it's nice to just be able to like say what I want to say and leave whatever I want to leave out. So yeah, great questions and just awesome time. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and I hope we will talk soon. So
Yes.
stay tuned. All of your social media, the EP, everything is down below. Listen to it. I said it like 500 times today, but it needs to be said, and we will talk soon.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.